Hello there everyone, this is SC2 Noob School. I'm Trebus, and you're either watching this through my channel or through GLHF magazine. Either way, you're handsome and intelligent and you smell nice. So there you go. Alright, so this is Platinum Day for Terran Bronze-to-Diamond week. And we're going to be watching a replay by Matter Junkie, Addicted to Matter. Can't believe you, man. This is a TvZ on Entombed or whatever this map is. And what I want to focus on today is Matter Junkie here. He plays a very aggressive TvZ style. And rightly so. On this map, it's very hard for a Zerg to keep their third. If they're going to take this as a third, and they're this close position away from the Terran, then the Terran, I mean, why not be extremely aggressive? So I'm a big fan of that style on this map. So what I guess we're going to be focusing on is Matter Junkie's aggression and ways that his aggression can be increased or kind of dialed back depending on what he is scouting. Because aggression is good, but over-aggression can get you killed. I'm a big fan of players like QXC or Select that are just these uber over-the-top aggressive Terrans, especially against Zergs. But sometimes you see them and they just stay overly aggressive, and it can lose them the game. So the first little bit of aggression here we're going to see is this bunker rush. Really, this should not work as well as it does. Every Zerg should have an Overlord by their hatchery. But in this case, it does work up. And the thing that I would be thinking here, we're talking about over or under aggression. As soon as you have this one bit bunker up, that is an incredibly powerful position. The first thing I would do is send one or two more SCVs over there, because if you can keep this bunker up, this hatchery is gone. And it's nice to have some extra SCVs, and then of course rally all of your barracks straight to the bunker. But having that extra SCV there is pretty valuable. Also, you could start making, he is making a second bunker. You can make a second bunker. I don't know whether to say that's good or bad. It's probably not necessary. If you had got 2 Marines in here for now, once we have that third Marine, if maybe we had 2 SCVs repairing, then this should really never go down. A nice cancel off there. And this is the point where it turns into over-aggression and over-commitment to the aggression. Clearly, we're not going to win versus this many Zerglings. This bunker is going down. And so, really, the second that you know the bunker is going down, my reaction would be to unload the bunker. And then, if the Zerg has right-clicked on the bunker and is just going to kill the bunker, well, then you just salvage it and let your Marines get some kills. Or, the other thing that can happen is that the Zerg player will go straight for your Marines and try to kill your Marines. Then you can pop them back into the bunker and do this little, am I in the bunker? Am I out of the bunker? Do this little dance and maybe get a few more kills off. But overall, it pretty much looks like you're going to lose this bunker with the queen there, the lots of Zerglings, all that stuff. So I would be trying to mostly just get a salvage off. 75 extra minerals. Hey, why not? So the bunker does go down, and let's see what's going on in Terran's base. Adding on 2 more barracks. He's added on 2 gas. 1 refinery only has 1 SCP in it. That's probably a mistake. And what I would be worrying about now at this point is some kind of all-in-ish aggression from the Zerg if he wanted to do that. Mostly, it would probably be a Baneling, some kind of Baneling play, since he's already been forced to make a bunch of Zerglings, and in fact, in his base, you do see a Baneling nest, so that thought was at least going through his mind to do some kind of push with bunkers, or push with Banelings, but he probably, I don't know, decided that wouldn't work, so decided not to go with it. Refinery still has 1 SCV on it. That's not cool. Okay, so here's another little aggression. And I don't like this aggression. because it's, let's see, we know he made a bunch of Zerglings to defeat our bunker. So he's already got a bunch of Zerglings. How many does he have? He has 12 Zerglings. And we have, I guess, 7 Marines coming out here. 4 or 5, yeah. I don't like this aggression because this amount of Zerglings plus a Queen engaged properly on creep definitely wins against these Marines. And then there could be all kinds of other things coming that that the Terran player doesn't know about. Could be Banelings already morphed, could be a couple roaches coming out, could be a spine crawler up here. There's all kinds of things that would just utterly defeat this push, and actually leaves his base wide open. You see there's no bunkers here, there's not any kind of wall off. If these Zerglings, rather than run from the watchtower, had just run straight into the base, they could have maybe gotten a few kills, they would have denied this expansion a little more. It just wouldn't have been good, it wouldn't have been good at all, and so I'm not a fan of this push. Now, you're going to see this push do damage, but this is entirely because of the Zerg's mistake. He goes in with some Zerglings, undercommits, engages off of creep, isn't bringing his Queen in to help with this. Some nice micro from the Terran player that actually makes this quite successful. But I would call that more of a mistake on the Zerg's part than a really great move on the Terran's part. Pushes like this could have forced a lot of units to come out, could have forced a lot of Banelings, it could have forced a lot of Zerglings. It did force some, mostly because the Zerg engaged that so badly, but really just like one spine crawler or a little more creep spreading out could have made that much worse. Also, I don't think the Zerg even had Zergling speed at that time. Maybe he did, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I'm not a fan of that aggression. Okay, so talking about the macro a little bit. There's some sloppy things that happen with the macro. Happens to the best of us. These 2 bunkers basically get forgotten about for a few minutes here. And finally there's some reactors going down, but the money's floating up really high just because of forgetting about those bunkers. So the next aggression that we're going to see is a Marine tank push with like 2 tanks and a bunch of Marines. That's a really nice push. It's a pretty deadly push, and it's a great push for denying a 3rd base. So that is what I would be looking for as this Terran. Whenever you're doing aggression, you want to be looking, you know, why is this aggression going to work? Why is this an opportunity for me? Most of the time, or lots of times, the opportunity will be this 3rd base from the Zerg, especially for a little siege tank push like this. Also able to take this expansion, just because the minerals were floating up a little bit high for a while there. But now the minerals are going to be nice and low with all 3 of these reactors up. So I think this is a really good timing to be pushing in right as the Zerg's taking a 3rd base, right as, let's see, maybe wait for combat shield to finish. A couple of barracks have come out, and will be some nice production coming out of those. So overall, I'd say this is a nice timing to push out. Okay. So, like I said a second ago, denying the 3rd base would be a great thing for this push to do. But here is a problem that Matter Junkie has. This position right here. It's not denying the 3rd. The Zerg player can still even move units between his natural and his 3rd, no problem. He can even come up in here for a wide angle of an attack, so he could attack through here, and then he could attack through here. I think, it's my opinion, that Matter Junkie should have been sieging up somewhere along this cliff, and then slowly pushing up here. The Zerg can attack from, if your staging area, I guess, for your attack is more right here, then the Zerg can push in through this direction and this direction. But if you bunny hop a couple siege tanks along this way, it can be really nice. Okay. So the thing he sees is, oh, he's got infestors out. So when I see infestors like that, and I see these groups of Marines, I'm thinking 2 things. I'm thinking, I either better spread my Marines out like a freaking hero. I better be like Marine King Prime style Marine spreading, or I need to go home until I have medevacs or a few more tanks or something like that. because a couple like clutch fungals on these Marines is going to utterly obliterate this attack. So it's very dangerous whenever that's all you have. And at the very, very least, spread out your Marines. You gotta spread out your Marines. So the Zerg comes in here, deciding to break it. He's got some Banelings. Banelings get some beautiful hits off on the Marines, and ends up sending in these Infestors way further than they need to be. Ends up losing 2 of them, I think. But otherwise cleaning up that attack, and that attack ended up being quite a win for the Zerg player. He was able to keep his 3rd base up, able to crush that attack, keep some of his Infestors alive, totally reset the siege count for the Terran. So nice little win for him. So here's some more aggression coming out. And this time it's going to be a drop and a little siege tank spot over here. And I still think that drops like this will be made much more effective if they're supported by a siege tank push. And you can see the Infestors are just easily able to clean up that drop, no problem. So more moments of over-aggression, in my opinion. So here's more what I was talking about. Imagine doing this push, except instead of doing the first push, we had all the Marines from the first push and all the tanks from the first push. So it had like 5 tanks and, I don't know, 50 Marines maybe? Pretty high number. And then sieging up through here, it would have been very, very difficult to get any kind of surround. If there are tanks down here, the Lings can't get us around, anything like that. Losing some not losing Infestors. So yeah, now you see the power in this position. Although spreading out Marines with the tanks would have been a little better. So this ends up getting cleaned up. The Zerg again makes some critical errors, just losing Infestors into nothing really. Had he not lost those Infestors, I would have again called this a win for the Zerg, because these aren't greatly successful attacks. They're really not. They're not hugely successful. They keep turning into a success because of the amount of units that the Zerg is losing, really for no reason. So another piece of aggression here, and the thing I want to point out for drops against Zerg is drops can be a great way to move up your siege tank push, because it can be, I guess, just moving the Zerg's army out of position is a good opportunity to move some siege tanks up, scoot your Marines up, stuff like that. So I would just have that in mind if you're wanting to play this aggressive style and do siege tank pushes with drops. You can see this drop is coming in here. Let's see what happens to the army. Army is leaving. Perfect opportunity to get a really entrenched position here. You can even put some forward bunkers, stuff like that. Matter Junkies ending up getting away with the medevacs, or with the Marines in the medevac. Going to drop them off here and end up losing them, and then here is exactly what I'm talking about, going in for this attack while doing those drops. Leaving the siege tanks exposed is a little bad, but you know, it was good enough to kill the 3rd. The Zerg had been throwing away armies continually, and the supply advantage is clearly in the Terran's favor. However, I think this game is not as one-sided as it could have been. A lot of these attacks that came out for Matter Junkie could have been cleaned up a lot more cleanly by the Zerg. Zerg just made a lot of mistakes that allowed Matter Junkie to win. And I think versus a better player in this exact same game, exact same positions, I think Matter Junkie would have been in trouble. Anyway, I wish you guys would send me replays of you losing. No one sends me replays of losses. Every single one of these is, hey, I won this game. You want to commentate it? Well, sure, but what, am I going to congratulate you on doing such a good job? Maybe I will. Congratulations, Matter Junkie. And stay tuned. We got Diamond coming up next. So thank you for watching and reading. glhfmag.com. GG.